Morning, hello. It's the 5th of January 2026, so a happy new year is in order. You find me in the Model Y. Do I hear you ask? See what I did there? I shall explain, but first, let's get the wheels in motion. Up, here we go, press to drive. This is my first experience driving a Model Y, and this is the newer version. And it being a very cold January, I thought this would be the opportune time to run this long-range model for a typical week. A week in the life of me, to see how I get on with it and to see what's what. And I'll reveal my grand plan in just a few moments. But first, a coffee and a disclaimer, because context is important. After much back and forth, I have decided that I am an automotive YouTuber, as opposed to an influencer, content creator, or indeed a fully fledged journalist. For those of you who are new here, hello, welcome. I'm Gok and this is my YouTube channel. However, when I'm not YouTubing, I am a freelance photographer and videographer. Until such time I have millions of subscribers, that was your cue to subscribe. The reason why that's relevant is because in this video I'm going to be using the Model Y as a company car. It's a typical week in January and I have some work lined up with a few of my clients, which include visits to places such as Oxford Circus, Westfield, as well as Mayfair. So no doubt I'll be coming across some real world challenges such as parking, traffic, and of course charging infrastructure. So the model that we have today is the long range premium rear wheel drive. It has a 0 to 60 mile an hour time of 5.4 seconds and the relevant top speed of 125 miles an hour and a claimed WLTP range of 387 miles. That represents an uplift of around 16 miles from the previous generation Model Y due to the improved aero. This particular press car is powered by a single 295 brake horsepower electric motor. There's the standard car, there's the premium rear wheel drive, there's a premium all wheel drive, as well as a performance, which we'll be reviewing in March. So again, good time to smash that subscribe button. And as well, if you are enjoying the video, please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and to help a small channel like me grow and reach more audiences such as yourself, smash that little hype button as well. It really does help the channel. This one is finished off in ultra red with the black interior. This particular car has also been fitted with the optional £2,200 20-inch Helix 2.0 alloy wheels, which look great, but the standard 19s may offer a little bit more in the way of comfort. All the models in the range get this fantastic glass sunroof, as well as dual wireless charge pads, as well as a 65-watt USB Type-C charging port for your laptop. The driver and the front passenger also benefit from heated and ventilated seats. As for the charging, the Model Y promises 166 miles in as little as 15 minutes. Though it's not officially quoted, we believe the capacity of the battery to be around 85 kilowatt hours. The peak charging ability, on the other hand, is rated at 250 kilowatts. It's just gone 9 AM on January 6th. We're on our way to our first job of the week. And I left the house at 6:30 this morning. It was still pitch black and it was -6. And I know it's a topic that we've covered before. It's nothing new. Other manufacturers obviously offer it, but this preheating and the preconditioning system is a godsend. It's brilliant. Everything, including our GLC, was completely frozen over. Yet I came over to the Tesla and the windows were all clean, all defrosted, and it was like a sauna in here. It must have been about 40 degrees, and it just put a smile on my face, and I was ready to tackle the traffic, which there's a lot of. So I'll catch you guys in Mayfair.
After many miles of bumper-to-bumper crawling into London, the inevitable road rage ensued.
Go on, mate. Say thank you, bastard.
I eventually arrived at a car park in the heart of Mayfair.
There'll be Mayfair prices, no doubt. Up to 4 hours, £46. Up to 24 hours, £67.50. I'm pretty sure at this point it's just better to get a ticket. At least you can just park wherever you want. We have arrived at our first job of the week, which is in Land Rover in Mayfair. So it's going to cost me probably about 50 quid in parking, plus the now £15 congestion charge for EVs? Is it the same 15? Oh, it might be 18 now. It has increased. I'll put it up on the screen now for you so you don't have to wait. Now, of course, there are no charging points at the Q car park. It's about 300 meters underground, but I do happen to know there are some Tesla superchargers on our route back home on the A1M in South Mint, I think. So I'm going to top up the charge. It's about 50% at the moment, so I should be able to get home comfortably, but I'll catch you guys tomorrow.
Another 2+ hours to get into central London this time, and another Q car park. This one did have some chargers, but the convenience of topping up while I worked was outweighed by the price of sub 7 kilowatt power delivery. The third day was a slow crawl on the North Circular, and when we got to Westfield, much to my surprise, there was no Tesla chargers. However, according to the website, that may all change soon.
In previous Tesla videos that I've made, I've often asked the question, would I have one? And for me, that's like a mini acid test. I could tell you whether the car's good or bad or what I think about it, but I think the ultimate test is, would I have one? And I've always said, providing it's for business use or for company use, then yeah, I would have one. As you witnessed on my journeys to these jobs, how uninspiring the drives were. I was in bumper to bumper traffic most of the way. It was slow moving traffic at best. So I found myself in a car with autopilot. I was comfortable, I was warm, and in that context, I don't really need anything else. However, with the growing speculation of additional mileage tax, EVs now having to pay congestion charge as we saw, that may all change, but we'll discuss that in further detail a little later in the video. Let's very briefly talk design, and we're going to start with the rear because I happen to think this is an angle where the Model Y looks quite cool. We have a light bar which runs across the back of the car, and this is a feature that we see with various different manufacturers. The only difference here is that the light is shining onto the Tesla badging, which I happen to think looks quite cool. Quite characterful then for a brand, for when it comes to design, usually isn't. Tesla claim that that is the first of its kind. From the front, it clearly draws inspiration from the Cybertruck, which personally for me doesn't quite do it. There's a light bar and there's some headlights down the bottom, which aren't standard, but mine is a premium. Tesla call this the Model Y SUV, which in the traditional sense doesn't really look it. There's not much sporty about it. It's more of a UV or a EUV, an electric utility vehicle. And that's because you can have a roof rack. You've got storage in the front, as well as a very generous boot. With the seats folded down, there's ample space for all your elongated items. You can even hitch a tow hook.
As for the interior, it would really benefit from black headliners as well as a grab handle or two. The screen, in true Tesla fashion, can control everything by your hazard lights and the window controls. It remains unmistakably Tesla in here.
In terms of what this car is like to drive, now if you're coming from a combustion engined vehicle, this is what's likely to happen. Firstly, you'll really hate the one pedal driving. The more and more you use it, you start getting used to it. You understand exactly when to lift your foot off the accelerator to slow down or even come to a complete stop. And then after a few weeks of driving, it's non-existent. It's second nature. You're well and truly adapted to the single pedal driving. And that's it. That's all there is to say about it. As for the steering, it's light during town driving and it gets heavier as you speed up. Not much in the way of feel. You steer towards the direction of travel and the car goes that way. As for the ride is okay. It can feel a little busy in town and built up areas. It doesn't help that the roads are in the worst possible shape given the time of year. But once you get on the motorway, once you get on dual carriageways at slightly higher speeds, it really does settle down much better, and it's firm, but it's comfortable. Noise levels are good. The seating position is okay. It's a little bit higher than I'd like, but it is a taller car, so I get that. The seats are really comfortable. The visibility front and on the sides is really good. However, the visibility from the rear view mirror is a little constrained. But this car's got like 9 different cameras which you can summon at any time. You've got the front, the sides, as well as the rear. As for the practicality levels in the Model Y, it's an area where this car really thrives. There's lots of storage under the armrest just here, little pockets of space under here. as well as 2 cup holders. There's enough storage in the door bins, and there's plenty of space at the rear. I've got my child seat in there. Legroom's good, the headroom is fantastic. As for the range, well, I've only ever charged it up to about 80%, and it was giving me just under 300 miles. In the real world, for me, I think that's more than enough for a majority of us. When it comes to performance, 295 brake horsepower is plenty to go around. Couple that with the fact that the torque is available instantly and the lack of gears, well, it's effortless. Overtakes, they're a piece of cake. So I'm sure you'll agree that it's all been hunky-dory so far. It's been effortless, it's been seamless. The charging, the driving, the overall operating's been relatively easy. However, some will need a little more convincing. So I've devised a plan. I have arrived at a non-believer in the hope that I could help him see a glimpse of light, or at the very least help him try to understand what Teslas are all about. In order to do that, I have handpicked 4 amazing features that this car offers, which I'm confident is going to do the trick.
First things first, to win the heart of any man was a nice cuppa in front of a fireplace to make sure he was caffeinated and warm. The error of my ways became apparent when I noticed him wearing a t-shirt whilst I was in a hoodie and a beanie hat. Never mind, I had the Tesla music box to turn to try and entertain Bill and lift his spirits. Much to my surprise, the mood had dampened, so I lent on some good old tech to wow him. Technology being technology, it left me and him a little underwhelmed.
My first 3 attempts at trying to win over Bill with the car's features hasn't been all that successful, but I haven't given up. I've saved the best till last, and that is the Tesla's biohazardous chemical HEPA filtration system. Now, I didn't have any access to napalm or Agent Orange for that matter, so I found the next best widely available toxic gas. That thing. A diesel. Okay, Bill. Let's go, give it your best shot. Let's turn this on. See? Not dying. Do you think that's worked? Is he impressed? Oh dear, I think not. So what is this pence per mile or mileage tax? Well, if you're old enough to remember, you may recall a time when the government told us how great diesels were. So we all went out and bought diesels. And it's pretty much the same story when it comes to electric. We were incentivized. They gave us government grants. They said no congestion charge, no road tax before doing a complete U-turn. So one of the ways of recouping some of that lost revenue when it comes to fuel excise duty is to charge us pence per mile. What do you guys think? Likely to materialize? Let me know in the comments. As sure as the sky is blue, water is wet, the government will find new ways to stick their hands further, deeper into our pockets and take what they can. You've heard the saying, there's 2 certainties in life, taxes and death. Now, our bruised egos aside, if you do say 15,000 miles a year, that represents an additional payment of £450 to our good friends over at the HMRC. Now couple that with the money that you're likely to save in fuel, assuming you have charge point at home, with the lower percentage of benefit in kind tax, which is likely to cost the average person, with some variables, somewhere in the region of £30 to £40 a month in company car tax. So there are still some benefits of running an EV as a company business car. It's just for how much longer, well, your guess is good as mine. To conclude, why did I choose the Model Y as a company car? Well, to me, it presented itself as a near perfect solution. 300 plus miles, by anyone's standards, in and around London is plenty to go around. I don't find it lacking in any department when it comes to comfort or features. It's been as practical as the next electric SUV. And having charging points dotted in around London, well, in theory, it's a great idea, but in reality, the speeds and the pricing, well, they need to be looked at. And as for the tongue-in-cheek segment with Bill at the farm, well, that was to show that Teslas do divide opinion, and they will continue to do so, and EVs and Teslas aren't going to be for everyone. And that's okay. We're all entitled to our opinion, and what we think about cars is, well, it's a game of opinions. With all that noise to one side and looking at this objectively, it's a car that's available to the masses. At the time of recording this, it's available on 0% finance. It's an improvement over the last model. It rides better, it's comfortable, and it has a very good level of equipment. If Apple were to design a car, you're looking at it. It's sleek, it's modern, it's simple, it's software first, and it just works. In my last 911T video, I said, ask the average person to think of an electric car brand, they'll most likely say a Tesla. To further reinforce that point, if you're in the market for an electric SUV and you do your research, be it in a magazine, newspaper or online, you'll find most of the Model Y's competition or alternatives are being compared to the Model Y. I wonder why. I did it again. See you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.